Hi, Aquarius. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards for you guys today regarding the Neptune and Aries transit that is currently entering a 13 to 14-year cycle, as well as the upcoming transit with Neptune and Saturn combining in conjunction at 0 degrees in Aries. With that being said, this affects water signs a little bit differently. This guys affects you guys a little bit more on a mental aspect, as well as how you guys show up in reality, the real world. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start pull some cards with Aquarius. So Aquarius, Spirit, when it comes down to them, how are these transits going to affect them? Six of Coins. Excuse me. Moon card. Six of Cups, I meant. Nine of Coins. With that being said, here's what we're going to talk about. But this moon card to this Six of Cups is your ideals, your ideas, your ideals, how you project onto the world, how you see the world versus the actual real reality. Our my very eccentric Aquariuses, there's going to be a lot of disillusionment about not only the current field of what you're doing and how what you're working in, whether it be your career, but also your family life, yeah, movements, and also society. It's like everything, this is going to be a breakdown for you, more so a revelation of not necessarily truth seeking, but seeing things for what they actually are. Not that you don't necessarily believe things. It's more so it's like the things that usually bring you joy and excitement, you're going to be forced to actually question what exactly about these activities, what exactly about this thing is it still purposeful for me in this life? Is it meaningful? Is it useful for me? You're going to start feeling alienated and alone in places and spaces that you really once loved. And it's not that you don't love it or like it anymore, but it's like you're outgrowing a lot of things in your life, Aquarius, when it comes down to how you, not necessarily how you show up in the world, but more so how you see things, perceive things. And that's going to affect your desires, your needs, your motivations, your wants. All of those are going to change drastically different. You're going to be focused more on, during this transit, you're going to be focused more on not necessarily inner work, but local work, community work. Similar to Gemini in terms of working more for a smaller group of people, a more intimate group setting, a more community based level of healing, of teaching, of spaces that are shared like that. Things that are actually more beneficial and fulfilling for you in that way. If you are an Aquarius who was heavy in the tech industry or social media or things that are more so surrounding like fame or attention, things that garner attention in our society really quickly, those things are going to start become shallow to you, hollow to you, especially with this Nine of Coins. You've already attained or gotten or done a lot of things that you needed to do in terms of your career field, your career field. I don't know why I can't say words today. With that being said, with the Nine of Coins, you're going to be called or be asked to during these transitions, to put that out on display in ways that are not karmic, in ways that don't sacrifice not necessarily yourself, but more so that don't sacrifice your integrity, and also they don't sacrifice your peace of mind. Saturn and Aquarius, excuse me, Saturn, with this Saturn conjunction with Neptune and Aries, this conjunction is asking you guys more so, what are you responsible for? I'm talking to Aquariuses who've been taking on a lot of things in their life that you might have to. You might have a lot of pressure and responsibilities that you might have to take care of. Like out of nowhere, things have become yours. But with that being said, since you're used to that pattern of things becoming yours, that means you just started taking on things that had nothing to do with you, no responsibilities. So now you're holding on to a lot of weight, a lot of dead weight. So this transit is going to be asking you, what are you responsible for? And is it your responsibility to actually take care and maintain it? And if it's not, you have to let it go. So during this phase, during this transition, you're going to be asked to redefine your mission, redefine what it means to actually, what is, what does Aquarius want in this life that's going to actually get me to my goal, and how am I going to get there? Yes, this is my mission, but what does it means? Yeah, I want to get to point A to point B, but what is the means? What is the means? What is the moral compass that I'm taking there? Who am I taking with me? What are we valuing? What's the strategy? Those are the things you're going to be called into question when it comes down to refining your mission, and also letting go of not martyrdom, but rebellion in a way that's abstract, and more so building real world impact to change type deals, if I'm making sense. Less self-sacrificial things that's gonna help push change, because I'm talking to Aquariuses who are not necessarily groundbreaking in a way it's like, oh, but I'm more so pioneering. That's the better word. So Aquarius, you could have been pioneering, or you could be the first in your family to do things, or you could be the main one in your family to do things, but it seems that all at the expense of your peace of mind, all at the expense of you having to take over or take control. Meanwhile, there's other people that can hold this responsibility. So, with that being said, you can build that kind of impact on people and have that kind of influence to do better and want better, but you don't have to do it at the sacrifice of yourself. You can teach them your ways, but you have to learn how to be a better shower, a better doer. That makes more sense. Show them, but without sacrificing. And if they can't reach that goal without you being there holding their hand, then the goal is not for them, and that's not a burden that you need to bear. With that being said, again, less big social circles, more small circles, more intimate settings, and deeper connections. You're becoming much more of a practical, you're becoming more of a practical visionary during this transition, and not so much of a distant artist, and not somebody that's like watching from afar. You're going to take actionable but practical steps during these transitions. All right, Aquarius, so this has been your readings. I love you all. Have a great day.